All right, here we go. Recording in progress.
Cool.
Thank you for coming. It's probably colder where you are, but I don't know. But I mean, I actually had to put a jacket on. So let's start cooking to warm this kitchen up so I can take this jacket off.
Cool.
But
Okay.
what made you decide to pick this particular recipe?
This particular recipe is something that I make all the time for my son, my youngest son. I make it several times a week. So I thought it would be easy. And what I had in mind before was a connection to somebody else's
Yeah.
cultural understandings. So, yeah, I think this is a little more appropriate. I don't know why.
Just like, do you always make fresh rice, or is this you
I
ever
always
have
make,
old rice?
I always make fresh rice, and so I started. I've washed my rice, but then I thought that I usually do it while I'm making the food,
Yeah.
and it goes back and forth. But because um, many people won't want to sit around and watch me make washing rice, I thought I would do that step first. But so I'm
Well,
just
I have to
adding
wash
water.
my rice. I've been
Okay,
I've been lucky. We have like a local rice now grown in my area.
excellent.
Um, this is a pretty simple recipe in the ingredients. There's not like tons of ingredients. The only thing would have had a hard time finding in some areas is the chili sauce, but I buy it in the gallon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Just like I
yeah. We bought one in the gallon yesterday, and I noticed that the one I have on my counter is low. So my son who lives with me is running upstairs to my other son's house to go get me some
there
because
you
that
go.
stuff comes in towards the end. Oh, I gotta get my chicken out.
Yeah, and there's just hundreds of chili sauces and they all kind of have pretty much similar ingredients.
I mean, essentially, this is just chili, salt, garlic, and then some preservatives.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put the water in my rice
Okay.
and you wash your rice, I guess.
Yep.
So is
Now,
that brown rice or?
mine particularly is.
Yeah,
I don't know.
because I know I do a lot of brown rice and I notice because it's not milled, I still rinse it, but it doesn't really require much because there isn't much to rinse. I guess that's my
Right.
point.
There isn't as much starch and powder on it.
Exactly. I still rinse it, but it doesn't require much. Probably doesn't require any as if you really don't want
And
to.
that's probably, I realized that I was just like, I grew up, mom said we never ate white food. She's like, there's not much nutrition in that. So I was just like, why do people rinse the rice so much? Thanks for that realization, because I never had the realization. I was just like, we never rinsed our rice.
Yeah.
But I do know it does cook a little faster if you do rinse it, it seems to me. So, but now that I buy a lot of the commercial rice in the kitchen, I definitely rinse it. And it takes a while to, yeah, I mean, look at that. Completely clear water,
Yeah.
you know. It's like I didn't even
I usually put it in a strainer and just kind of run the water over a pot.
yeah, what I'll do is just like this and I'll tilt the pot and just let the water until it runs clear on the, I think I need a little more water.
There's
Brown rice.
Darlene with her screen.
Yeah, this is what I use. I just put the rice in there and like Fred does, I just run it under the water until it runs clear.
Yeah, and I usually put a pan under it that's dark so I can see that when it's sort of clear. I don't know if you all received it, but Darlene sent me a really nice mail that had photos of all of the steps of the procedure, and I thought it was terrific.
Yeah, if anybody wants to receive that, I did post the pictures on the Facebook event, but sometimes pictures get out of order.
Yeah, I mean, that's very professional. You quite often, when people have recipe websites, of course, they quite often have pictures like that step by step, and it really was helpful.
And for the rice, for me anyways, for the Japanese rice, um, it's usually supposed to be like 2 cups of rice to 2 cups of water. But I was always raised that you just put it up to your, even though I put in using a cup, I actually just kind of measure the water to, if you touch the top of the
Oh,
rice.
the
and
knuckle method. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's uh, way more accurate than the.
Yeah, and if you use an Instapot, it's 1 to 1. And I guess maybe a rice cooker it is too, because you don't lose any water.
Well, rice cookers, you do lose water, but yeah, the Instapot, it's a sealed.
Instapot, it's almost always 1 to 1, basically.
I turned my rice on. Now I'm just gonna heat up my pan, which I've pre-treated with avocado oil. And I do tend to cook everything on high.
You always use avocado oil?
Pretty much. Sometimes I'll use ghee or, yeah, but mostly always avocado oil. It has a high smoke point.
Much higher smoke point, yeah.
Thanks.
Well, looks like
Is this your chicken you're putting in?
This is my chicken, my boneless, skinless chicken that Jane can omit because she doesn't do the chicken part.
Probably not too many chickens running around in Svalbard.
did you marinate the chicken at all, or you just put the
No.
whole things in?
I just put the whole things in. And I
And
don't know why I don't cut it up before. My son just tends to like it the way I do it, so I just keep doing it.
so you just fry the whole thing, you don't cut it up beforehand?
No, and I let it get crispy, and then I start chopping it up with scissors, just straight in the pan, and then it gets crispy again. So I might have too many chickens.
You ever do this with the bone-in ones?
I know.
Too much work.
Yeah, I don't have the expertise to debone eyes very well, because they have a lot of bones. About how much meat do you think you're putting in?
I just that. Yeah, I probably this is probably about 2 pieces more than I usually do, but it'll be fine.
As usual, I'm doing tons extra.
You need a platter, big skillet, or
And I usually have crushed garlic already done. So that's why garlic's not in here. But now I'm about to chop up these veggies.
All right, chop up some garlic.
Turn the light on.
yeah, I like your little step.
Yes, it makes it easier for chopping, especially
Yeah.
after injury.
No, I can see. Is that garlic ginger paste?
It's just garlic, just one.
Garlic. Okay.
So I'm just putting the garlic in the bowl. I put everything in the bowl before I add it to the pan. That's about how much garlic I use. I use a lot.
Okay. So eventually all of these things are gonna go in at the same time into the dish, into the skillet?
Yes.
So that's really convenient.
What's
Then
that?
I use a lot of chili paste. You don't have to. You can use whatever you like. So for whatever reason, the supply for the particular chili that he prefers, we can't get it anywhere right now. I don't know if there's a supply chain shortage. I don't know what's going on.
Well, there are some supply chain issues because of what's going on in the Suez Canal.
Mhm.
So we're just cutting up the garlic and the onions and putting that in the bowl, right? In preparation.
Yeah.
How small do you like it?
I I slice it up this way in the onion and then this way. And then when I slice it this way, it'll come off in little cubes.
Plus your garlic was already was already ground, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost bought some of that garlic in a jar, minced garlic. But I found out I don't like it as much as I used to. I used to buy them in a quart.
Well, I've started purchasing ginger garlic paste at the Indian grocery. And
Yeah.
I notice when you go there, they've got shelves full of that stuff. So that leads me to believe that the average Indian home cook is probably using a lot of garlic ginger paste because there's no, especially the ginger, there's no fiber in it when it's ground up.
And I mean, it takes a lot of work to cut in those
Exactly,
recipes.
that's my point. And if you use a lot, then it never gets old. There we go.
And this is about the size of the onion pieces.
Okay.
So really, really finely minced. I was asking because a lot of times I like the long strings of onions.
Mm.
Yeah, for the stringy type, you cut straight across the onion. And there's the ginger. Yeah. Yeah.
This is the amount of ginger I usually use.
Oh,
And
wow.
you can give it a light scrub.
That's a lot of ginger.
Now I noticed you don't use cabbage. I've always thought of fried rice as having cabbage in it.
I missed what you said.
I've
You're not
always
using
thought
cabbage.
I don't use cabbage. Not for this, anyway.
bread is my sound. Yeah, it's still working. It's
And
free?
also you're not peeling the ginger, you're just chopping it up.
Yeah. Just lightly scrub
Yeah,
it. And then
kind of
chop.
person. I definitely like whole ginger.
Yeah, and there's a lot of waste when you try and peel ginger.
Let's see here.
Making me hungry.
There we go. Think I should do 2 onions? I've got like twice as much. Chicken. All right.
So is the chili paste kind of the underlying spice of what's going on, or are there other spices?
Uh, it's, well, the garlic and the ginger, the chili paste, cilantro, pepper,
Okay,
and
all right, thank you.
But you had like like you said, Fred, you had the garlic chili sauce at the end.
it
And
all much goes in at the same time.
so
After I chop up the chicken, I add the chili paste, just like a couple of minutes before I add everything else. And then you just keep
I have some Szechuan chili
seasoning-
paste now too. Oh, look at that.
Szechuan chili paste.
It's not,
I've got
yeah, if you,
Szechuan pepper, but not chili paste.
yeah, well, they make a chili paste made with Szechuan peppers and you get that little numbing effect if you want that in a dish.
Oh, this is the ginger.
Yeah, it looks great.
It's like I think this is the first time I've been using this thick stainless steel wok as an actual wok. But let me check on my rice. I don't know how often I put rice in the rice cooker and then forgot to turn it on. So let me go check it.
I've done that before.
When you're using Instapot to make rice, you got to remember to turn off the keep warm thing after it while you're waiting for a natural release. It can burn your rice or unless you want it crispy on the bottom.
Which I don't know. A lot of people like the crispy.
I know, that's why I mentioned it.
What are you cutting now?
She's doing the broccoli florette. She's cut
Oh,
the tops off the broccoli.
I actually couldn't find whole broccoli, so I had to buy frozen ones. So they're already cut up. They were actually out. So I guess I'm one step ahead on that one. Is there any other vegetables, Darlene, you like to use? I don't know if you can hear me.
Well, she's got cilantro.
I mean, right now we're just doing
Yeah, I don't know whether the cilantro isn't, comes later for serving or not.
Darlene, is there any other vegetables you use? I can't hear very well, huh? So, because I'm doing like twice as much chicken, I'm already starting to cut them up. Even though she said make them real crispy and then cut them up. And I like the method cutting them up with the scissors. So, but then we're using chicken thighs for that extra flavor. All right. Darlene, can you hear me at all or no? My sound is being quiet and
I'm a bad, host because I can't really like walk and talk.
talk and cook, yeah.
I'm almost done cutting this and then I'll come in here what you have to say. I'm having a hard time deciphering what you're saying over top of the chicken.
Okay.
Uh, well, I use the whole broccoli, but I chop the top and keep it separate for reasons unbeknownst to me. So these are, I kind of break them up so that they're quite small pieces.
Yeah. Do you ever use any other vegetables?
Uh,
I don't know what it is about me, but I rarely eat broccoli.
well, and then, yeah,
It's like, oh yeah. Hers is gonna come out a lot more crispy than mine because as usual, I overloaded the pan.
and then I slice up all the stems because those are great, and
Ah,
I just cube them.
For like soup later or something else, yeah.
so they're going in the dish?
Yes,
Yeah,
Okay.
you're chopping them up small.
Just use them all.
I make them into little cubes. About the size is what I did with the onion.
There you go. Don't waste any of it. That's oop. All right, I can't do this very well left-handed. I'm trying. My one hand got cramped, and so I said I'll switch hands, and then
Those are right-handed scissors.
I always try to practice doing things with both my hands. I just keep thinking, just in case I hurt one hand or something happens.
Good brain exercise.
And I don't like recipes that say bite size because everybody has a different size mouth. It's like, I tend to have a big mouth. There we go. I think almost all of them are cut similar size. But mine are definitely not very crispy because even though I have it at the highest temperature, I think it's better if you put less in, crisp it, and then take some more out.
So the chicken's starting to get a bit crispy, so I'm gonna flip it.
Yeah, look at hers. It's so nice and crispy.
Yeah, well, the cast iron skillet helps a lot.
I had my big rice cooker was full of food inside the fridge, so I had to empty it out.
So there's the broccoli stems all chopped up, finely chopped.
About like a,
Really finely chopped.
yeah, about a centimeter, which is like a quarter of an inch, I guess. Little cubes.
Yeah, that's good because it is fibrous, so cutting it up small helps.
Do you peel it beforehand? You just chop it
She
up?
did not. She didn't peel it.
Oh, nice. Just don't waste any of that.
So I like the idea that if you chop it up fine, you don't need to peel it because peeling it, it's a real pain in the ass.
Yeah. I guess but it also matters how fibrous it is. I mean, if the stem is really fibrous, you do have to peel it.
Yeah, these were kind of the tops. It didn't look like it was a great big stem.
But yeah, most of the broccoli we get nowadays is it's not very fibrous.
That's right. Yeah.
So, all right. So we've got chicken cooking. I've got my big pot of rice. I started a little pot of rice while I transferred.
Now I'm just gonna chop the cilantro.
And is the cilantro going to go in the big bowl also?
Yes,
Okay, so the cilantro is not a condiment at the end. It's part of the dish. And so because you're chopping it fine, you're going to do stems and all.
yes.
So that's a good point. Because I never quite know how to do that, but I like the idea that if you chop it up, you can use up the stems.
And part of it is, I think we're so used to using cilantro not cooked.
Right, that's what I was thinking too. We're used to using it, as a garnish.
And then you don't really want the stem. But if you
That's
cook,
right. Yeah, that's a good point. I like the idea that you can use the whole thing if you cook it.
and it also changes taste.
Yeah, so same with everything else that's quite finely chopped.
Good. All right.
I've seen it where people chop it, cut it up with scissors. But there we go. All right, my chicken is starting to crisp up. Turn it down a little bit now. Starting to run out of liquid.
Well, that's when it's gonna crisp is when, that's why it didn't crisp is because there was too much moisture in it.
Well, I think, yeah, because I started cutting it up, it let more moisture out.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
like,
So that's an argument for, where Darlene just put in the big pieces and it didn't release a lot of liquid.
right. Yes,
And a cast iron skillet helped too.
crisp it up first and then cut it later.
Yeah, yeah.
So I messed up that part.
And then I get my trusty scissors, and for whatever reason, this is what I tend to do, chop it up and.
So here comes the, yeah, okay, you got all, that's pretty. You got all
Oh.
that stuff.
Oh yeah, look at, I just piled it on top. She separated them out. All right, here, let's.
Now she's gonna start cutting it up with the
That was smart.
poultry shears, we call those.
Yeah, that's smart to have it separate in the bowl. So if you decide you don't want, you just have a little garlic, a little onions.
Well, it's a nice presentation.
Let's see. What do you call it? I use tongs. She just holding it down with the spoon. Oh. Like I was using tongs and picking it up, and she just holding it down with the spoon and cutting it. That's even easier, actually.
And she's cutting it in very small pieces. So it's not gonna require lots of cooking and
Just like crisp it up again.
Yeah. And also using something like this to hold the meat together, you get more bang for your buck. When it's cut.
So I only had like 3 pieces that were crispy.
Oh, Yoshi, can you open the front door too?
The smoke alarm's starting to go off.
Yeah, because I didn't turn my fan on, because otherwise then all you'd hear was a big ruckus of noise. But normally I cook with the fan on. But my son Kyoshi is running around trying to
Be an
silence the
assistant,
smoke.
yeah, and we can't hear the smoke alarm that much anyway.
Oh, good. I can.
Yeah, Zoom cuts out those high sounds.
All right, my little pot of rice is starting to boil.
Oh, good.
I guess I don't have to cut anything else up. I could bring it over here.
Yeah.
There's my little pot of rice. My big pot of rice.
You know, Darlene, you could probably turn on your fan because we probably couldn't hear it even.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I can't even hear it.
Oh, okay.
We've had that as an issue before on the cooking show, where we couldn't hear something because it was muting the loud sounds.
Yeah, I mean, if it mutes where we can't hear the cook, then it's an issue, but
Yeah. You're like. So yeah, I'm just making a small pot of rice to try to make sure I have some, but I had to clean out the big pot of rice first because I had it my big pot was in the fridge full of food. I was like, I was not. Sometimes I'm not prepared, but actually, that's life, isn't it? Never be prepared for. Right. All right, looking good. This is so hard for me to not taste. I'm fasting today, so I'm like, taste stuff. Oh, this. Can you see the boiling of the rice? Isn't
Yeah,
that? That's
yeah.
just like, I could sit there and watch that. That's fun. Let's see. What other? I got the soy sauce. Got the chili powder. I guess the broccoli. Yeah, I started really liking cooking with tongs. It's like you're using your, you can pick stuff up like you're using your hand, but oh, he's stuck in there.
You must have really good tongs, because my tongs always so wonky.
I don't know. I have some really small ones. I find like most of them are really big and my hands start getting cramped really quick. But this one is a really small one. And it's
I
got like,
have some, mine are kind of long with some kind of silicone or something on the end of them.
Oh, yeah.
so
So you get a good grip, kind of flat.
are you frying that like at a really, really high temperature or what
Yeah,
temperature?
I cook everything on high, and
Okay,
it's a gas stove, so it's, you get it right away.
extra high.
And the chicken is really cut up in little teeny pieces.
Maybe I
Yeah.
should cut mine up a little smaller, huh? But I did bite size, and bite size for me.
Yeah, no, hers are smaller than bite size.
Okay. So, I've had a similar dish to this that was teeny, like 1 inch cubes of tofu deep fried. And they didn't put any flavor on the tofu. It was just deep fried little cubes. All right. That better, Fred? I don't know. Maybe. I still got some big chunks.
Just kind of thinking if there was something that would brown up your chicken, but I can't think of it unless it would be some sugar related thing. Okay, here comes chili sauce.
So now I just kind of stir it around, make sure that you get all the crispy stuff off of the bottom of the pan, and then add your chili sauce.
Chef, can you move your camera a little bit to the back of your stove? All we can see is you and just barely any of your pan.
But
I don't think she heard me.
no, I mean, I think she has it as far back as possible.
Yeah, I think so. So she just added the chili sauce to the chicken.
About how much you think?
The other way, to the back of your stove.
The other direction, yeah.
Oh, the other direction?
Yeah, so we can see the whole skillet.
More, more.
Where am I doing?
Right
There you
there.
go.
Oh,
There, that's
right
good.
there. right there.
I
Now
just,
that now that you're adding everything to the pan. So the chili sauce just went
Into the chicken.
into the chicken. Mhm.
I don't know how to hold this and cook at the same time.
No, just show it every once in a while. You can leave it where it was, but
Yeah, you don't have to hold it, just put it, just, it wasn't that bad where it was before, Darlene.
Okay, I
Just-
just have to find where I lost the thing.
Lost
Yep.
the thing that was holding it.
Yeah, I got it. Found it.
where's your son? He should be working for his food.
Yeah, your
said-
assistant,
Hey, yo, can you come and help me?
Oh,
that's good, right
perfect.
there is good.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's perfect.
Well,
We
that's right.
we don't need to see the whole pan. It's all the same.
So I just have the chili sauce in mine. It's just the chicken and the chili sauce.
Got my rice on this one. Like, kinda- I don't know if you can see my rice cooker, but the steam is all coming out.
Yeah,
It's gonna be done. So
yeah,
when it is done, then yeah, well, it'll be done by the time my vegetables are done.
okay, so is the rice gonna be a component or is the dish gonna go over rice?
The dish goes over the rice or aside the rice.
Okay, all right. Okay, here comes the vegetables.
So my rice is beef.
Garlic, onions, ginger. You putting everything in?
Yeah,
Put
yeah,
everything in.
it's all going in.
And cilantro. Ding. Oh wait, broccoli too, right?
Yeah, the broccoli was all part of the vegetable mix.
I might have to cut these up. Let's see how big they are.
Not too bad.
But yeah, I couldn't find fresh broccoli. They were completely out. But probably not as good.
I'm just gonna stir it up now.
Stir it up.
Look,
Up, you turned your camera off.
uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I'm dropping things everywhere today.
Yeah,
Okay, you're back.
Let's see here.
Yeah, that looks pretty good there. We can see the edge of the pan. I mean, we know everything's in there, so. Oh, that's perfect. Perfect, right there. That's perfect. There we go.
Until it cuts her head off.
Well, can't have everything.
It's just like,
We know what Darlene looks like, but we don't know what the dish looks like. So stirring it all together on high heat.
And essentially, I guess it's just steaming all this vegetables because I haven't added more oil or any liquid.
Yours looks like it could use more chili paste, or,
Really?
yeah. She's got a lot of chili paste in hers and it's giving it color.
Because I put at least a cup in there.
Well, she put more than that probably.
I put in about a cup.
Okay. So I have like twice as much.
Yeah, you did a double batch, so
Yeah, I'm doing a double batch. But I highly recommend when you fry the chicken to not put it all in like I did, because it did
yeah,
not
you
come
need,
out as crispy.
yeah, you need the appropriate size pan so the chicken's not stacked on top of it, so.
Oh, God.
This might be a time to give it a little taste or to see if it needs more chili paste.
I'm fasting. If
Oh, okay.
I take one taste, I won't be
It'll
able to
be
stop
all over.
myself. Yeah, that's I have really good. The rice is almost done. It's like you can see the top of the rice. But
So essentially mine is done now and the rice is done.
Okay.
So when the rice is done, I was always taught that you stir it from the bottom up and then you leave it for about 5 minutes and then it'll be officially ready.
Uh-huh. Good point.
just give it a.
With a rice paddle, not a spoon.
Well, mine's stainless steel, so I'm not worried about it. But
Just teasing, just teasing.
But yeah, my old rice cooker, I was really strict about never using metal on it. And it still would get scraped up. So I finally sat down and bought this little 2-cup stainless steel one. So,
And when you do turn, after you do turn the rice, I use the rice paddle because it has a bit of a curve to it. And I kind of just tuck it in along the sides. So it creates like a dome. And so then as it's sitting and warming, the stuff that gets stuck to the sides will get hard. And so if you make a little dome, it'll help keep the heat and keep everything moist together.
Okay.
there's less stuff touching the edges that way too, yeah.
So, and I like cleaning up as I go so then I don't have any dishes after I'm done. And so now it's ready.
Good job.
I
Do you
can
still have the chicken cooking or,
everything's all mixed in the same pot.
but I
All in
mean,
one pot.
is the flame still on?
I turn the flame off and now I'm adding Szechuan pepper and black ground pepper and a bit of, for me, gluten-free soy sauce.
Oh yeah, I have the soy sauce too.
Yeah.
But first, let me get the Szechuan pepper. Fred has made me addicted to this, and this is my go-to pepper now.
Which one?
The
Szechuan.
Yeah, Szechuan, yeah.
It's not really even a pepper. It's not in the pepper family,
It looks like a peppercorn, but yeah.
but it's not.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Is
Yeah,
it-
it's not a pepper, but they just call it a pepper.
And then a little bit of
Is
soy
it
sauce.
is it spicy hot, the Szechuan pepper?
No, it's not. That you use chili paste, not the Szechuan pepper is not that hot. It's just flavorful and it also gives a little tingle to your mouth.
And you get it, can you get it ground or do you buy a mill for it and have your own Szechuan?
Well, yeah,
Either
Oh,
way, but
yeah,
fresh ground is always more tasty.
yeah. You can put it in a grinder or you can put it in a mortar and pestle and just grind the chilies.
And we often use, I didn't do it today, but in a pan, I roast pumpkin seeds and sesame seeds and sunflower seeds and flax and a little coconut and some
Wow.
pepper. And I usually roast that, and then after you dish up and just sprinkle it on the top.
Nice.
You'll have to come and do a cooking show just for that. That sounds phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I make it by the jar, and it's great on all kinds of things, like on your yogurt, on your oatmeal, like on dishes like this, like pretty much anything. I don't think
Yeah, it
there's
sounds tasty.
yeah.
So you roast all that up ahead of time in a dry pan, the coconut and the pepper, the pumpkin seed, sesame seed, flax seed, sunflower seed.
Yeah.
You do it on a pan?
I sometimes I'll chop walnuts or pecans. So if you do that, I would recommend doing the pecans and walnuts first, and then put the pumpkin seeds in. And then, because sesame seeds don't take very long.
You got to
and
be
it's-
careful with sesame seeds. They can burn quickly.
Yeah, and same with sunflower seeds. So sunflower seeds, then flax seeds, then sesame and coconut at the very end, and very briefly, because it'll go turn really fast. And then you can turn it off, and you can't leave it for a second though. You have to be constantly stirring right from the get-go.
Right.
Have all your ingredients out, so you can just do it one after the other, and
Yep.
then take the pan off the heat.
Yep.
And then wait for the seeds to cool a bit, then stick them in jars. And I keep them in the fridge too.
Right,
that-
because nuts will go rancid if they're not refrigerated.
Yeah, because it's a shame when you find out things are rancid. Yeah. I
Well,
found a
especially-
whole jar today of almonds that I forgot about, and now they're just gonna get composted.
Yeah, I had a whole thing of mixed nuts that cost a fortune, and the same thing happened. It was in the back of the cupboard and it just went bad.
Yeah, I used to like save stuff. I was like, I'm gonna save this for when, special occasion.
Yeah.
Then things
then-
start going bad, and so I'm like, every day's a special occasion. Now, if
Exactly.
I get something good, I'm not trying to save it.
I agree.
So Darlene, I have a question about the nut mixture that you use. Can you hear me?
Yes.
The coconut that you use, it's shredded unsweetened, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I do. But anything really,
Okay.
anything will work. Sweet sometimes is nice, especially when you put the nuts over desserts and stuff, but it's not necessary.
Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
I could see it on yogurt especially would be
Yeah,
nice.
and too, like if you wanted to sweeten it more, if you use unsweetened, or depending on what you're gonna top it with, just drizzle some maple syrup on top or something like that.
Yeah, you could use it in savory or sweet.
Yeah, or in salads too, like a balsamic reduction is really nice.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing this with us.
And here it is.
Mine
Take
came
a
out
look,
so
Laura.
pretty too.
Yeah.
Where's the camera? There it
Yeah.
is.
So
Yay.
the cilantro got cooked into it, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
everything, all the veggies go at the same time.
What I liked is you just barely cooked any of those veggies. It was just like,
Exactly, because then you savor the nutrient value.
yeah, it's just like right
Yeah,
at the
and
end.
that's the advantage of chopping them up small because they don't require much cooking.
And also, you just want to flash it, because the longer it gets cooked, the less nutrients are remaining.
That's true.
All right. Any other
Yeah.
questions? Darlene, thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Good job, Darlene.
Yeah, it's just like, I like it, part of it is recipes never tell you like the process very well. It just says,
Yeah.
put it in. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, thank
Yeah.
you so
And
much
then-
for doing that.
The official name of this dish is just stir fried rice. Well, the rice isn't fried, so it's just
No, that's just what Or had posted it as, because he wasn't sure. But we just call it chicken and rice.
Okay.
It's my son Tsukasa's favorite dish, so I just call it Tsukasa's chicken and rice.
Okay.
And
I'll update the name to Tsukasa's Chicken and Rice.
yeah, thanks. And also, if you could change the picture, because that would be great.
Yep. Well,
And
we have
when you're eating it, the different textures are going to stand out because the flavors and the firmness will slightly infuse with others, but it'll still retain the flavor if you keep it crisp.
yeah,
Nice.
because nothing was cooked that long, so each thing has its own distinct flavor still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
Yeah.
there you go. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right, I'm gonna wrap up the recording and we'll stick around and eat.